Welcome back to Breakfast Daily on City TV. Now, don't forget, our hashtag is Breakfast Daily, and you can send us a message on WhatsApp. It's 0550-585832 if you would like to send a message, and you can contribute to anything we're discussing on the show. Okay?
Yeah. Well, we want to look at some education stories and education infrastructure. We're going to the northern region, and let's take a look at the lack of education infrastructure at Nchimbado EP Primary School. Let's take a look.
At Nchimbado community in the Nanumba North municipality, grass has taken over the 6-unit classroom block, which had its roof completely ripped off by a rainstorm some 4 years ago. According to community members and teachers, several letters to the municipal assembly and the member of parliament for the area to come to the aid of the school has not received the needed attention. The situation has negatively affected the school enrollment figures. The school, before its current state, had about 200 pupils, but as of the time of filing this report, it can only boast of less than 30 pupils. Many of the children have stopped school because there is no place or classroom to learn. A structure in the community, which is said to be a church, is where the whole school is being accommodated. Classes are combined in the structure. Primary 4 to 6 is occupying one corner, whilst KG to Primary 3 also combined. Head teacher of the school, Yakubu Wumbe Mashoud, spoke to City News.
I think this school, this thing happens almost 4 years now. And this is my office. Nothing is there again. We're having almost 100 wood chairs. I think there's not even a single chair again. Our school band, our books, everything. My brother, teaching and learning cannot be effective here again. And we are even under learning program, which is a good program. But this school cannot curtail or take it.
A teacher who teaches the combined upper class told City News he is adopting a multi-grade technique to teach the classes.
I combined 3 upper primary 6 up to P4. Yeah, because of the roof of our school building. So we combine all the 3 classrooms together here. The upper primary classroom together.
You teach upper
primary school, yeah. Primary 4 to 6 that are combined here.
So how are you teaching them?
Yeah, actually.
They're all studying different things.
Yeah, though I miss multi-grade teaching. I use the multi-grade teaching and the teaching them. Because when such cases come, we have to use multi-grade methods in the teaching them. Yeah. It's not easy to combine 3 classrooms at the same time. It's not easy.
The circuit supervisor of the area, who was in the school for supervision, also lamented the state of the school, saying several complaints about the situation has not received the needed attention.
They are using a borrowed, I don't know, whether a church pavilion or something like that. And all the classes, P1, basic 1 to basic 6, are packed in the same pavilion. How do they teach? Teaching and learning is not flowing because of noise all over. And actually we wrote, immediately after the rip-off of the building, I wrote a reminder, and my director continued, and up to now, we are still struggling. We have no way to go. So we only appeal for assistance or help. If not, in fact, in Nchimbado, educational delivery is now a problem to both the teachers and the learners.
Community members who spoke to City News appealed to the municipal assembly and the MP for the area to help fix the problem.
The challenge is that the air was where our distance, the school, so almost 4 years now. At the same time, because we have a lot of people schooling here, we no more have any school here, but there are people too. They are too small going to other village for the school. So because of that, we're no more having school at the same time. So it means that we don't have government to help out the school. At the same time, that school too, they are not cooking for us, for people. They are not cooking for students. So we beg for government to help us for our school.
Some of the pupils spoke to City News about the challenges studying under such conditions.
So to my school ba bomukakba me the pieces in P4 and P5 grade P3 so get when a mumpa.
This is Nchimbado Community School. The school, according to the community members, have been ripped off for about 4 years now, and several complaints have been made to the district assembly, and nothing has been done since.
I'm not sure. Can we even call that a school?
Well, I mean,
I'm not sure.
the GES has it on their radar.
So in theory, it's a school,
It's a school.
but in practice,
It's also a school.
okay.
Yeah.
Let's say good morning to Duke Mensah-Poku, our parliamentary correspondent here at City FM City TV. Hi, Duke.
Hello.
Good morning. You saw that.
A heavy sigh.
Footage. Yeah. What do you make of it?
You know, sometimes I wonder if these people vote. Do they vote? I just checked and they have an MP for Willency. They have a DC. Hopefully we'll speak to him this morning on this issue. So what does the MP do with his MP share of the common fund? What does the DCE do with the common fund? You see, this is not even fit to be a cocoa shed.
No. And it's a death trap.
Yes. Yes, and apart from that, it's a death trap.
Yeah.
So you see a part of it ripped off, and it's been ripped off for how many years?
4 years.
4 years. 4 years.
4 good years.
Not 1 month or 2 months. 4 years.
Yeah.
And it's like this. And the parts that were not ripped off, students still study there.
Yeah.
What if that part also caves in?
Yeah.
Then it becomes a national emergency. Education minister will go there and they will go and do assessment as if they are doing something. Charlie. This is 2022.
Yeah.
2022, and we have students in Ghana studying in conditions such as this. I mean, what hurts me the most is that in 3 years' time, the gentleman, his name is Blaise in Jonah.
Yeah.
Blaise in Jonah will be writing the same BEC with kids from
Richard School,
Morning
yes.
Star,
Yes.
Christ the King.
Yes.
They will be writing the same BEC.
The same
Look at the
one.
conditions in which he studied.
Yeah.
How
Class
does he
6,
compete?
Class 6, he can't even. I don't know if he decided, but I'm sure if he was very comfortable with speaking the language, he would have. And it's just not even the. It's not that shocking. I was in a voter region somewhere last year. GSS 3 students who had BEC in a matter of weeks. Some of them could not construct a single sentence in English. So if he's even in class 6, at least he has 3 years to be able to get his basics. But it all tells you how bad our educational system has become.
Yeah.
Not even on the infrastructure side, but even on the level of instruction and content. So you hear the old folks, they didn't have, except in extreme circumstances, those who were very well off, who went to the few private schools around. Almost everybody you talk to from the 60s, 70s, they all went to public schools.
Yeah.
They all went to public, and the public schools were very good.
Yeah.
Very, very good, comparable to the best everywhere. I mean, the president talks about how he left the school which is now Kimbu here.
Yes.
Rowie Road School. I
Yes.
think that's how it was called. Government Rowie Road or whatever. Class 3 or stage 3, and walked straight into a British prep school.
Yeah.
And was competing with the kids from England, right? From a public school in Ghana.
Yeah.
In class 3, walked straight into a school in Britain and was competing with them at the same level. It's not as if he was. He mentions it himself.
Taken back or anything.
And let's look at that up until now. That tells you how bad the system has become. My question is, what is the assembly doing with the common fund?
Yeah.
What are they doing with the internally generated funds? They may say that with internally generated funds, the place may not be a very economically viable place, so they don't rake in a lot of revenue. But for 4 years, I tell him that for 4 years, and the District Assembly Common Fund is released in quarters. And for 4 years in the Nanumba South District, nobody in authority thinks that this is a priority for government to at least invest. Because if you look at the structure, the one that's been moved up, the structure itself just needs a bit of a fixing and then roofing, and then they are good to go.
Yeah.
But you have that, and then they are learning under trees and sheds. That thing is not even, I say, it's not even fit to be a cocoa shed. But they are there, studying.
It's unfortunate.
Children.
Well, our correspondent who brought us that report is on the line, Mohammed Alabira. Alaji, good morning. Hello, Mohammed.
Yes, sir, boss.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well, sir.
All right. Yeah. So, sort of give us a sense of any of the authorities you've been able to get in touch with on this matter.
Thank you very much, boss. The authorities have contacted on this matter at the district assembly, the MCE for Nanumba North. That is another correction that I would like to correct my senior man, Duke. It's Nanumba North municipality, not Nanumba South. That is this school is under Bimbila. And the MP for the area is Dominic Mitwo, that is the defense minister. According to the community members, that they actually have written several letters to him. So the MP knows about this school, the state of this school, all this while. So, and the community members say all the letters that have written to him, he has not responded, nothing. So when I contacted the district assembly, they also said for now they have no funds, nothing, and in fact it was an eyesore. The structure the people are studying under was put up by a small church. Oh. So without this thing, there was no place that the people would have been there. So which means that the whole community, and the community is far away from other communities, saying that the people can commute to, say, maybe attend schools in other areas. When I went, you could see that the children over there, some of them are not wearing shirts. They were actually not in the school. They were in the community. So when they saw me there, they started bringing them, asking them to come to school. So most of them ran to school, to the structure without even shirts on them. So which means that for that long time, they have not been going to school. And all the classrooms, it was terrible. We have taken over the place. GES office, I told them, I contacted them. They also said, yes, for them, they have nothing to do. GES is to supervise. And they have also, several times complained to the assembly to come to the aid of the community, but all to no avail. But
I see. This is very interesting. So people, it looks like people basically don't want to take responsibility for what they are supposed to be supervising.
Yes. It's serious. It's serious, boss. And the GES office also told me that this is not the only municipality which has no furniture for them. Some schools, you will see children lying on their bellies to study, and children are overcrowded in classrooms. So when I went there, they were actually telling me that they will get time to take me around the schools for me to see what is happening in the municipality.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alabira, what's the nearest big town to Nchimbado?
The nearest one is, there is only one community between Nchimbado and Bimbila town.
Okay.
That is Karaga, and Nchimbado to Karaga. The distance is a bit, from Karaga, then the next community is Bimbila town itself.
I see. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Well, we'll try and get in touch with some of the authorities and see what it is that they have to say about this. We appreciate you bringing this to light. Thank you very much, Mohammed Alabira, as our Northern Region correspondent. And thanks to him, we can see what's going on in certain parts of the country. Duke, it's interesting how some of these things have gone on for decades, almost unnoticed by the larger Ghana, But look at what we are seeing here. I mean, are they less Ghanaian than us?
Well, yes, I think that when it comes to a matter of deplorable schools and schools in such a state, I mean, just how long ago? A month ago, just right here in Accra, in rural Accra,
yes,
at a place called Akwachiri.
Yes,
a similar scene,
yeah,
which took the intervention of the local government minister to order the DC or the MC for the area to do something immediately about the school. So I don't think we are in any, we are not in any denial, or the country is not in any denial that we have such facilities or such schools. But my problem is when you leave it to exist for not months, 4 years.
Yes.
That becomes cruelty.
Yeah.
You can say it's an oversight if it's 1 month, 2 months. We saw the security supervisor there. The security supervisor supervises all of these schools, sends his reports. Who do the reports get to? District Education Director, regional, it comes to GES.
Yeah.
Is he telling us that, or are they telling us that the, what do you call it, the assembly does not see this as a priority?
Exactly.
For school children to be studying under these conditions. Close down the school if it's not fit and proper for it to hold human beings together. Because what you are endangering all of the people there.
Yes.
You are endangering people there. You are endangering the lives of students there. And I'm not sure it will cost so much to fix this. Just roofing sheets.
Yeah.
Roofing sheets and the cost
of the trusses are still in place. You can see all the trusses are still in place. So all you have to do is to secure the trusses and make sure that they are
the district assembly. How much do they spend on fuel in a month?
Yeah, exactly.
The district assembly.
Yeah.
The MC for the place. How much does the district spend on his on running his household for a month?
Yeah.
The district, and when the district, there's some of the, and I'm not saying this in particular reference to that place, but some of these DCs and MCs, when you go to their places, they are like demigods, and rightly so, because they are not accountable to the people. They are not. They are accountable to the appointer, who is the president in Accra, who appoints all of these over 260 MCs, people he may not have even come across, people he may not have interviewed, people he may not have sat down to understand whether they understand his vision for the country or not.
Yeah.
But because of the kind of system that we have,
run,
and the person who is also elected by the people, the MP, will say that the money directly for the development of this, it's not coming to me, it's coming to the MCE. So the blame game continues. But he is an endangered species, because at the end of 4 years, you have to go back and seek the people's mandate. But unfortunately, in some of these areas, people will not vote based on the fact that 4 years the school is there has not been fixed. They will not vote on. They will vote on other considerations, which I may know. Which I may know.
But it's almost like they're not foreseeing the ramifications of this. Like you said, it's already. These kids are supposed to be competing with kids in urban areas who have better opportunities, better infrastructure. This is the future of this community we're talking about. It can't progress if this is how the children are being educated. I can't even say they're being educated. They're just being
housed.
I don't even know what to say.
Imagine during the pandemic when the conversation are now shifted from physical to virtual, and kids were now advocating for a reduction in price of data, so that they could study, join their classes with their laptops from the comfort of their. Look at this.
Which laptop? Where? Which
data? How do you ever become a part of that conversation?
Yeah, they can't. I'm sure these kids probably don't even know what.
These are the kind of place where ICT is learnt on the board. So they draw a mouse,
and
they say this is a mouse. They say this is a central CPU. This is a monitor.
Yeah.
Well, you have
but that's even if ICT is taught.
It's taught. Here's a teacher who has to combine 3 classes, 3 upper primary.
You see what they are doing there. One teacher is doing
3 classes,
class 4, 5, and 6.
They don't even have teachers, adequate teachers.
Because
if they post you to this school,
that certain subjects are even not being done.
Look at the poor headmaster. I mean, he looked so just down. Yes. As if he knows that nothing is going to happen. He's just going to have to continue.
I mean, he's been at it for years.
He just...
You see, and another thing which I want to touch on. This is, I mean, I don't know. I don't see anybody in a school uniform.
Yeah.
No. And even
bare-chested.
Bare-chested,
No uniforms.
And a school like this is also not captured by the school feeding program.
Look at that.
That's because the program, when was it, 2 weeks ago, we're at the school feeding program with the speaker, where he mentioned, or they spoke about the challenges they are facing. But it is for communities such as this that the school feeding program was
set up in the first place. Yeah.
So you have a community like this, bad schools, and parents even have to think about, once you have the school feeding program, you know that at least if the child goes to school, he has at least one hot meal, he'll be able to concentrate and all of that. But apart from the deplorable conditions under which they are studying, there's also no school feeding program for them. So it's more or less like double jeopardy. It's sad. It's very, very bad. And I don't know why. Because that's what I'm saying. I don't buy this excuse that there is no money.
Yeah. No, neither do I. Neither do I. Because Koki, in the same week as one minister will come and say there's no money, that same week you will see another minister talking about some kind of expenditure that is being made in the millions. It happens so often. You realize that there seems to be money generally, but it's money for certain things and there's nothing for others.
Yeah.
And that's the decision we've taken.
Like. I think the DC should, or the MC, he I don't know the kind of, but this there's no money excuse. It won't wash. The next allocation of the common fund that comes to him, he should set aside a portion of it to fix the school. It's bad.
I agree.
It's very, very, very bad.
And I know GS, the whole excuse of, the assembly is supposed to do it, but are directly affected by what we've just seen.
The environment.
So to say, this isn't under our remit, it's supposed to be the assembly who takes care of this infrastructure.
It's a cop-out.
It is.
It's a complete cop-out because, yes, maybe building infrastructure may not be under your jurisdiction, but the school is under your jurisdiction. You can't shirk your responsibility when you see the students that you are supervising. You're not supervising buildings. We understand that and we appreciate that. But if you are supervising students and you're taking these students to an exam in this state and you are not concerned,
I don't get it. So if you're the head of the National School Inspectorate Authority and you go to a school like this and you tell people that schools that don't meet certain basic criteria will be shut down or what,
and this is a government school.
Yes, and this is a government school.
So maybe next year should come in.
They should.
Yes, I don't know how. I know it's a pretty infant organization, not being
they
so
just
long.
changed their name. That's all. Remember, it was called something else before.
Inspectorate Division.
So they had some name, and then they said they came back and said, now we are Nasia.
Okay, but then they should look there. I also appeal to the NGOs. I know they do a lot in Northern Ghana. I know they do a lot from boreholes to skills development programs. They do a lot. A lot of the development organizations are in Northern Ghana. We beg them. Just one more appeal. If the government is shirking its responsibilities, I will not do this. If you have some resource envelope somewhere, please direct it to Nchimbado for us. And just roof the school, do some small renovation, paint the school, so that kids can learn in a proper environment. Because this is terrible, to say the least. Very, very bad. Very, very bad. Absolutely unconscionable.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I honestly don't know how anyone who is in charge of education in that area can sleep at night. Honestly, I don't get it. You can't just say, I've delivered books, I've done what I must do, I don't care. No, you have to care. If you don't care, you shouldn't be in that job. Seriously, you should not be in that seat. You should not be earning a salary, not from there. Yeah, because the children have been disenfranchised by this collective nonsense that's going on in that area. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.